It's 4:30 a.m. I was up a little after 2:30, which is a little earlier than I wanted to be, but uh, life will assert itself as it does. I've just been messing around for a few hours, and I'm about to stop to get something to eat. I just wanted to point something out. It's something to do with something that Hillary actually said. She said, the claims by President Putin and other Russians that they had to go into Crimea and maybe further into eastern Ukraine because they had to protect the Russian minorities. That is reminiscent of claims that were made back in the 1930s when Germany, under the Nazis, kept talking about how they had to protect German minorities in Poland and Czechoslovakia and elsewhere throughout Europe. A comparison of President Putin to Adolf Hitler. Things Hillary actually said. See, the other day they had that shifted down about 5 or 6 degrees, which is a huge difference, right? Showing up the bar when it's 10 degrees out, and leaving when it's 10 or 8. Meaning the whole night's around 10 degrees is a big difference than showing up at the bar when it's 8 degrees and leaving when it's 4 degrees. It's only a shift of a few hours. As you can see, it does get cold in the morning, but that's a big difference. So I'll have to throw a sweater in my bag or something in case I get stuck, but I have no intention of this being a late night. It's I believe an 8 o'clock start. If it's not 8, it's 9. Yeah, doors at 8. So they're older people. If the band's done, well, if start times are 9 and 10:30, I'll be up before midnight. So I have no intention of staying late, but we'll see. I've said that a few times. It works out sometimes, sometimes it doesn't. I'll check that before I go, but right now that looks actually fairly pleasant if weather that requires a rain jacket. I can deal with that. I ended up falling asleep for about 2 hours there, which is probably going to be good for me in the long run. It's the weather, which, as you can see, is pretty gross. But what that means is that it's been... I'm going out in my rain jacket and my rain boots. And what that means is that it's been, well, you're not going to see my rain boots because it's too dark. There's my cute little rain boots. And what that means is that it's been, it hasn't been exactly 6 months since the vlog started, but it's been a half a year. Because I remember the first vlog that I did, I was rocking my rain jacket. Well, was it the very first one I did? I think it might have been the very first one I did. But I wore the raincoat a couple of times out. And I haven't worn it since then because it's been the winter part of the year. And when we had precipitation, it was broadly snow. So even if I have worn it a few times, and I know I have worn it a few times, we're getting around there. So this is when you live in a place where you have full seasons, that change, your lifestyle changes a lot based on the season. So I guess this is JV 2.0 here coming up here. I need to go out to the store, get some money out of the machine. It's just the whole exchange rate thing. It makes the most sense for me to go take the cash out first and then come back and then take as much out of the machine as I can to pay for my tickets. It's just a tactical thing regarding the fact that I can't take smaller bills out of the machine, right? If I could take $5 bills or $10 bills out of the machine, I would just take 30 out of the machine. But I can't do that. So because it's actually not near the end of the month. I still have a week, but I mean, I've made sure I bought lots of food. But it's the last bit of cash I have available for this month. that's how this has to work out. So I'm off to do that. Well, I was expecting a little bit of rain. This is a little bit much. Let's see if I can get this better. I probably should have done that for the sunset the other day. I was wondering why it looks so blurry, and that's why. So yeah, I was expecting a little bit of rain. This is a bit more rain than I thought I'd get walking out of here. In the long run, that's probably good. That probably means that the rain has hit a little bit earlier than it was expected to hit. Meaning it should be gone a little bit faster than it was expected to be gone. Meaning that I should get less rain when I'm actually out. And that's a positive. I know that this probably looks brutal, but like I say, we're coming out of the winter half of the year. A few days past the solstice now, and it's actually very refreshing to have the moisture in the air. Our winter was short this year, and it's not entirely over yet. It's only March, but it's you know, this is the thaw. It's a less intense thaw than normal, but it's still a thaw. So it's actually quite pleasant in context of coming out of winter, even though it's, by any objective standards, it is cold and rainy. I don't mind walking in a little bit of rain, but this is a little bit much, so I'm going to see if I can let it come down a little bit. I do need to get to the bank before 4, and it's only like noon, so I've got some time, but yeah. It's not quite April, but these are April showers. And that's spring in Canada. I ended up getting drenched. Thankfully, I did have my camera in this little case, which got more than damp, but didn't end up hurting me. I wanted to get some shots of how the outside is greened up a little bit. Maybe we'll get some shots when I actually go out. I hope it. Well, I have an extra hour of light now, and it's an early-ish show, so if I'm out around 7, I should get enough light to show you. You can see it already, just by looking out here like this. It's just it was too rainy, and I mean, this is waterproof supposedly, but I don't really want to play with it because I don't expect I would buy another one of these. It's eating up far too much of my time. You can see that, actually I think you probably can see that the water is coming down quite heavily, so I got nailed. So nailed that I'm wearing my laundry day khakis there. I've got my pants in the dryer. I was gonna change my pants anyways. It's just they're too wet to throw in the bin. So I've got my sweater that was underneath my rain jacket in the dryer as well, and my rain jacket. I'm gonna have probably just throw that rain jacket away. It's really become essentially useless for keeping rain out. The thing is, I don't like wearing this because it's a trench coat. I was never anything close to a trench coat kid. I had a friend that was a trench coat kid. I never liked trench coat ideas or wanted to be associated with them, and I remember being kind of okay, I don't really kind of want to stand near you if you're gonna do the trench coat thing, kind of thing. But that was my stepmother's father's military grade rain jacket, and it's a really good rain jacket. So if I am going to be out in the rain for a long period, it makes sense. My battery just came up, so I'm going to close this down. It's just I don't like being out in public with it because of all of the social stigma in wearing a rain jacket, which is stupid. But anyways, the other thing was that I got tax shit. I've got stuff to do for a bit to change my batteries. I'll be out probably on the next update. So what the hell are these stupid superhero videos, anyways? See, on the one hand, it's easy to be like, okay, it's proof that our society has finally gone full retard. But on the other hand, there's a lot of things about this that are kind of fishy to me. It's the superhero one, and there's the Jello one as well, and they're just like racking up hits and taking over the trending metrics, and they're just like absolutely just flooding everything, right? And if you look, like it's not like one channel; it's like a bunch of channels. But it's the same idea. It seems kind of organized, huh? As though somebody, as though there's some sort of a large team behind it. Um, I think I watched one of them, and I didn't watch the whole thing. And I'm really not that interested in going through and critiquing it and analyzing it. But I don't think, or let me put it like this: it's a little bit curious that it showed up at exactly the same time as the election got tough, right? Almost as and it's exactly the kind of condescending nonsense that you would expect to get from these media manipulating people that are kind of looking at the internet as an annoyance, right? Here kids watch superheroes. There was a time at the beginning of the election cycle where there was a lot of interesting videos coming up. In the trending space, and then that kind of slowly turned into hit videos, as the campaigns took over, and now it looks like, like the psyops have taken over, and it's like, watch Jello and Spider-Man, kids. That's what, that's what you should be concerned about, not grown-up things, like politics. We discuss grown-up things on TV, not on the internet, right? So, it's annoying, of course. You got to deal with 30 million hit or 15 million hit videos about superheroes. And I'm not even watching them. But I mean, it doesn't mean that the information you're looking for has ceased to exist. It just means that you have to use a search engine. But I mean, that's my take on that. Is that this is suspicious? Let me say that as soon as the election starts, or as soon as the election gets hot, all of a sudden, everywhere you turn, you're being bombarded with nonsense that is at the mental level that the elite presumes you exist within. Well, good news and bad news, right? I got shifted again. It looks like I was right about the rain coming in early. But what that means is that because the rain came in early, the warm front passed quickly. And so what they're claiming is that the rain will stop early and it'll get cold faster. So I'm back to, around 11 or 12 when I get to the bar. Oh, wow. Okay, so yeah, there's... So, I need to plan to not leave the house until after 7. I'll check the radar and everything, but, yeah. And then, it'll get cold because the warm front has passed. So that's, but as gross as you can get, right? gotta cash out. I don't know, what else am I gonna do this weekend? Might as well. So let's get some things in the trash before I hit the shower. It's still wet. I don't like that, but what do I do? So let's let it dry. This is yet another cheese wrapper. I didn't have that bagel last night, but I did have one this afternoon. Because that happens sometimes, and I get a little bit hungry. I have one meal a day. It's not very much, right? So this is the bag I've been using for the cheese. I think I've just been using it too long because the cheese is kind of drying out. So I'm gonna get another bag for that. There's some paper towels that I use to dry things when I got back from being wet. This is a plastic bag that somebody gave me to put my taxes in when I was walking in the pouring rain. So thank you, random post office lady. And that was a messy table that needs to be cleaned. A few more days. I'll be done archiving soon. Okay. What's the deal with the rain? The deal with the rain is that actually we already had that talk, didn't we? Yeah, we just did. No. I think it's time to take a shower. See, I wish it was nicer out because this is like what I'd like to wear to the show, kind of thing. This is kind of my favorite outfit. This is like, you know, if I'm just going out somewhere, I'm gonna dress like this, right? But it's cold, and it's annoying. I should say last summer I wasn't able to go out, like there wasn't anything to go to. There was like a lot of like really bad techno, and like the indie. I hope that doesn't happen this year. Okay, the last like 4 or 5 years, it's been like this like summer chill stuff that takes over in the summer, and it's just trash. Okay, like up and down, absolute trash. There's nothing remotely interesting in this music at all, and like I don't want to go to that, right? So, like if we can get some decent bands in Detroit this summer, I don't know who's watching this, but like do me that favor because like last summer it was really bad. Summer before that, I didn't come in until later. If I remember right, it was like the end of the spring was pretty cool, but I wasn't able to get across the border until like September 2014. So this is only really the second summer that I'm going to be able to get across the border, kind of thing. And I mean, it couldn't be worse than last summer. I remember going out, like I got to see like one fun dance night. It was like Andy Stott and Dundyke Stair at the Museum of Contemporary Art, and that was in like October 2014. It was like a nice warm night at the end of October, and that's like it sort of thing, right? And it's annoying because we actually had nice weather, right? So great weather, no shows, right? If we could fix that this year, please. I said please. I'm a Canadian. That's what you want to hear, right? So yeah, I mean, but I mean, I might have to put a sweater on and go out, and, you know. But this is what this is the ideal, right? This is what I want to be at when I'm dancing, you know. And you know, look, see, I know I look good. You don't have to tell me. Okay, so I gotta put some clothes on and get ready to go. Yeah, I don't really feel like wearing makeup or anything tonight. It's more of a it's kind of a middle point show. There will be probably a mixed gender audience and a likely a small androgynous audience. Not necessarily trans or trans identifying, but you'll see the odd boy in makeup kind of thing. So I don't want to say for certain that there will be boys with makeup at the show, but I mean, I'd say that it's likely that there will be at least one. So, because it's got that kind of like dark goth kind of feel to it, right? It's got that. The genre is shoegaze, which means lots of guitar effects, Um, there's actually a number of historical overlaps. Um, the acts that are generally cited would be bands like Ride. Um, I hear quite a bit of My Bloody Valentine in this act, but I mean that didn't come out of a vacuum. That came from largely it largely came from The Cure. Um, so I mean there's that side to it, and there will be that aspect of it, that kind of gothy, you know, cake painted kind of thing. The flip side of that is that it's 2016, so um, we're quite a bit removed from that. Um, so I mean, it's not really a safety thing. It's just that I don't really, you know. I think I might fit in too well if I do, kind of thing. Kind of maybe, you know, the no makeup is maybe more of a distinction um, for the evening. On top of that, let's remember that makeup is not free, and I just don't really feel like wasting it tonight. Um, it's partly the weather too. If it was just a little bit warmer, you know, and I thought that, you know, I might be able to, you know, take a sweater or two off. As it is, I mean, this is what I'm wearing. It's the same thing I wore to the Gorilla Thaw show. But like, I'm gonna be wearing a sweater all night, so it's like, you know. Anyways, I'm about on time, so I'm getting out of here. It's just there's no substantial girling up for the night. Let's put some moisturizer on and head it out. So it is about 7:30. Sun's we're losing it, but this is better than it was a mere 2 weeks ago. That's for sure. Um, the rain does appear to have stopped, um, and it is supposed to stay stopped for the rest of the night. I decided to go with a winter jacket because the weather is unclear and there is some chance I may get stuck. The only thing that's certain is that it will be cold by the time the sun comes up. What I wanted to point out is the green, because Windsor is actually a fairly nice city in the summer. It's just you didn't get a chance to see it because, like I say, we tuned in at the end of October. So we're gonna see some things green up a little bit. I mean, I tried to show a little bit of it, but it was like, you know, a lot of the times at the end of October it's snowing, right? Everything's off the trees, and we'll get some buds coming up. It's still a little early for that, but you can see like the grass is shifted from that, you know, kind of brownish yellow kind of deadness to a nice bright green, and it should stay like that for most of the year. You know, we might get a kind of a nasty hot spot right in the middle of the summer, but it will stay fairly green around here for most of the year, so, or most of the summer anyways. So that's a nice spot, or nice change there. I forgot to mention that tonight's show is actually at the Magic Stick. That's something that it's a closed venue for all intents and purposes. Oh, the saying is intents and purposes, but I grew up thinking it was intensive purposes, which means I sometimes use that phrase in ways that may be unexpected. Intensive purposes would mean, you know, for you know, in any other way, you know, a rose by any other name kind of thing. And it is closed, as far as I'm concerned, anyways. They turned it into a techno bar, and it's just bad. Although they appear to be doing well, or they appear to be doing okay, and the kids seem to like it. But this is It's the downstairs part of it. How do I get to the Magic Stick? I take the bus over and then I walk. It's about a half an hour walk. I would have liked to have left a little earlier, but the rain made that hard. So I'm gonna catch the 8 o'clock bus. I'll be there for around 9. I should catch most of the opening set anyways. We'll see. Sunset in Windsor. It's just checking to make sure that I didn't have my zoom back on. It's a nice ambience. It's a small town, right? So it's got that kind of. Actually, I don't even know if I'd call it a town. It's not a town. It's just a small city. But it's got that nice kind of almost post-apocalyptic feel to it when you're walking through it, because it's sorry, my coffee there is hot. It just had to. My hands are full, so I had to deal with that. But I mean, it's that post-apocalyptic feel because it's like you're in a city, right? But the population, I bet the population density is not particularly low. It's just that like downtown, because you're pulling from less of a population, less of a total population, so it seems empty, right? Even though the actual population density of people that live in the urban center here is probably not particularly low, right? So you get that if you're used to living in a bigger city where it's busier, you get that kind of like abandoned feeling. And in fact, all of Detroit is like that. I mean, for obvious reasons. If you know a little bit about Detroit, I mentioned this walking through Detroit. In the fall, if I'm concerned about anything, it's coyotes, because it's just empty. There's nobody around. You can walk around downtown Detroit for hours and not see anybody. Like, what are you afraid of? There's nobody here. If there is anything to be afraid of, like I say, it's wild animals that are reestablishing themselves in the core. But I need to move a little bit more quickly, so I'm going to put this away. Just getting the point across that that's what it's like walking down the main street in Windsor, or the main cross street in Windsor, anyways. And a little bit at sunset, right at the beginning of spring. More duskiness here. Greenery on the ground there. Sun coming down. It's really fairly nice. It's I think I mentioned this once before. I grew up in Ottawa, and when you grow up in Ottawa, you get spoiled. Ottawa is actually not on any of it's not usually on the best cities in the world lists. Montreal, Toronto, Vancouver, sometimes Calgary. Those are all cities in Canada. Make the list. Ottawa never does, but if you're in Canada, you know Ottawa is the really nice one, because it doesn't have all of that big cityness. It's like a giant town. Very nice place. But I mean, Windsor here is it's not Ottawa. But it's quite pleasant. There's no question about it. Yeah. Bus should be here soon. I may be stuck. It's a little strange. There was no traffic in the tunnel, but as soon as we got out of the tunnel, we got backed up here. So, suggests that there's probably somebody being a little bit anal in customs. So we'll have to see how that works out. The line seemed to clear out immediately once I got off. Maybe they cleared it for me. That would be nice. Rather than take a bus, which would take me around the corner and drop me off, I just got up and walked. It looked like it was going to be a while, so that lets me skip over that. I got about a half-hour walk through downtown Detroit here, and I didn't bring extra batteries, so we're not going to take all of it. Gotta cross Gary Road. That's good. Yeah. I should have brought extra batteries. I wasn't thinking. But yeah. There I am. There I go. These are the perennial Christmas lights on Woodward. All year, every year, all the time. This is, in fact, I just about got my foot stuck in it. It's the rail line they're putting in, and it will eventually get me up and down the route that I'm going. I crossed the street there. I may not have needed to. It depends. This is the square here. I think it's pretty much dead set central Detroit. And I'm actually crossing back where I was. Actually, why not? Keep going straight. I'm not sure what these... They look like subway stations, but to my knowledge there's no subway in Detroit, so I don't know what these are. Underground parking, I guess, probably. And I mentioned I didn't bring extra batteries, so I should really put this away. And there's the construction on Woodward for the rail line, which is driving everybody crazy, shutting down businesses. Actually, I haven't heard of anything specific, but I mean, you can guess that a lot of these businesses are going to be in some trouble. It's not so bad right here, but once you get up a little bit, it can get pretty bad. That's why the buses are detoured. The whole thing, right? But it'll be useful when it's in. I'm exiting the immediate downtown core, or at least it feels that way right now. It might not feel that way in 6 months. That's where the baseball team plays, and that's where the hockey team will play in the near future. The people that own the Red Wings are also the people that own Little Caesars, and are basically the people that own Detroit. I'm going over a freeway here, and experiencing my usual concerns about structural integrity. There's a lot of construction here, but this car is going over. Gotta get from A to B. On the other side of this freeway, you enter a different neighborhood. It's the it's not quite campus. There's a small little bump before you get to campus, but it's basically campus, and it's a few streets up from there. So right now, this doesn't feel like straight downtown. In fact, it feels like kind of creepy even. The only reason I'm not creeped out is because I've done this enough that I know that this is not so bad. But in a few months, the downtown core of Detroit will have extended. I'm going to have to guess that there was a period in the not so distant past that when I'm walking through would have been downtown core. That's how I'm going to cross the street, and I'm going to listen for reasons of structural integrity. But yeah, where I'm going to is on the side of the street anyways, but like I said, there was like this feels like suburbia, but I'm like, okay, this is not quite expected, but okay, it's telling me to go around, so I will. Yeah, I mean, this is it's 10 minutes from the tunnel, and you feel like you're in suburbia, so the downtown core is very, very small. I have pointed that out a few times before, but the city is huge. So I suppose I want to go this way. We'll find out. And this is the bowling alley in Detroit. The way they've got this, if you want to go up to the old Magic Stick, you go up there, up the stairs. There's the bowling alley in the back, and the shows that I will be attending from time to time are mostly over here, which is in a smaller cafe type affair. Yeah. So this is inside the downstairs. Stuff on the walls. It's a relatively small stage and fairly down, which is a little bit nicer. This was no doubt the initial idea, right? You got the bigger venue upstairs, the smaller, more intimate one down here. But like I said, they've turned the upstairs into a dance club, so this is what's left. Relatively small bar, small place, and that's where I'm hanging out for the night. Well, it's not even 11, so the idea that this would be an early night was correct. I'm going to take a little bit of a walk, and we'll talk a little bit at the bus stop, I think, probably. I got to the bus stop, and it was full of frat boys coming back from a hockey game. We're going to have to wait until I get home. I'll spare you the details. There was a much homoerotic nonsense, to put it lightly. Those fucking idiot jocks are finally gone. Thankfully. You know, like, the things that these people say, it's just unreal. You know, they try to get me to a car with them. It's just like, you think I want to be, like, anywhere near you? You fucking losers? You know? Like, anyways, the bus, I saw it come around the corner. I guess we'll wait till we get home to have a talk, but, like, thank God they're gone. You know, it was very difficult, like, being around those people. I really, like, you know, like, I try to be tolerant, but, like, you know, like, these, like, jock type people, I just cannot stand them. They just drive me nuts every time. The bus should be here very shortly. Well, maybe we'll talk a little about the situation, because I got a few minutes still. I was here, it was like 11:30 at the latest. Close to 11:20. I missed the bus that came right after 11. I figured I'd catch the bus that would come right after 12. The bus it never came, right? And so I'm stuck at the bus stop with a bunch of fucking jocks for like well over an hour. Finally, a cab comes. Well, it was like the 5th cab that came. The first 5 cabs, you know, they told the cabbie to suck their cock and all kinds of other horrible things, right? You gotta listen to that for an hour and a half. And then finally a cab comes and they all get in it, you know, and they worked it down to $5 a head. And I'm thinking, I gotta cross a border. Do I want to get in a car with these fucking idiots and go through a border with them? Like, what happens if one of them is carrying drugs or something, right? I'm not taking that chance, right? Thankfully, I saw the bus turn the corner. For some reason, I guess it would have been the 11:30 bus just didn't come. So I'm waiting for the 12:30 bus. I saw it. It'll be here soon. But God, as expected, it did get cold. Thankfully, I brought my jacket. Otherwise, I'd be shivering pretty badly. I am shivering pretty badly. But just, I mean, to think that you can act like that at a bus stop for an hour and a half, and then like random people are going to get in the bus with you. There was an old guy they got, and I hope the old guy doesn't get in any trouble, because like those are the last people I want to cross a border with, and they're really the last people I want to spend time with. Anyway, so like I said, the bus should be here soon, but this is it wouldn't have been so bad if it was just like quiet. You know, I'd deal with it kind of thing. You know, I'd be cold and frustrated, but at least I wouldn't have to deal with these people. It's the people that were the major annoyance here, and the most difficult part of the bus not coming. But In fact, that looks like it's a second bus. Yeah, it must have just got stuck in customs. Wow, it's a long customs. Again, that'll happen when some idiot decides I want to bring drugs across the border. You know, just like why would you do that? Why would you even think about that? You know, like maybe it shouldn't be illegal, okay? Maybe there should not be penalties, but there are, and there's thugs with guns standing there, and they want to put you in a cage. Like, why would you even think about this? You know, and there's consequences for people that are waiting for the bus as well. You know. So, anyways, it shouldn't be too much longer, I don't think. It just clicked. The reason that the bus is so slow tonight is because of the attacks in Brussels. And it's just a PR stunt, as though it has any, like, it's designed to appeal to, all these retards that think that, a security check at a border is going to make you safer. I was hoping that we would get rid of that with the last election. We wouldn't have to deal with this kind of illogical nonsense anymore. I guess that was a little bit of hopeful thinking that's not panning out. So um, that's probably the reason I've been stuck here for 2 hours, is due to the police state that's being slowly installed, and that the last election did not slow down at all. So I was hoping to have an early night in, um, go out for a few hours, come back, um, before midnight, kind of thing. That was the plan. Um, and the venue side of things worked out well. It was just getting stuck with the bus. I confronted the bus driver when I got on. I said, the bus, you didn't run a bus, and he said, no, I got stuck in customs. I think that there's going to be a number of letters written. I'll write one myself. Even if you get stuck in customs, you don't just not run the bus. Like run it a little late. Otherwise you've got people waiting there for almost 2 hours, right? And that's just unacceptable. So, like, what was the actual truth? The actual truth is he probably went out on a date or something, right? That's bullshit, right? So, I think many letters will be written, and hopefully he will be fired. That's not acceptable for a bus driver. So, that's, the end of the night sucked. But that doesn't really say much about the show or the band. The first band was kind of a doomy, grungy, shoegazy kind of thing. They were doing what is, I mean, in today's world, they were grunge rock. Or sorry, in today's world they would be doom rock song structures. But it had kind of an early grunge feel to it. Like, I'm talking about something like maybe like something like Tad. The side of grunge is maybe a little less known, but is a better use of the term. It was a bassist and a drummer, two-piece band. And so the bass took the whole bottom end out. But it wasn't like, you often expect that to be slightly more like a busy kind of a thing. Like whether it's like dance punk, like Death from Above 1979, or like really really fast crazy stuff like Lightning Bolt, or but what they were doing was pretty pretty toned down, with the bass just covering the I'm gonna say harmonic and melodic lines at the same time, although it was more harmonic lines. So uh, they were doing the bass thing, but it was like a harmonic bass thing, um, rather than a purely chord sort of thing. So it was working with the vocals like that, and it had that um, uh, more complex sound that you would normally associate with um, shoegaze in today's world. You put those things together and it's grunge. That's what grunge was at the time, right? Might not be what you think of grunge now, but that's what grunge was and really should be. So that's what it was. And for what it was relatively good. Um, I mean, it wasn't particularly exciting, but for what it was good. Um, they were called, what were they called? Dark Red. Um, but then I went to see the Shoegazer Lilies. It was a good set. It was a little short. I wasn't expecting a really long set though. I think it ran to about a half an hour. I would have expected maybe 45 minutes to an hour. Um, Half an hour sets. That's more of your opening band. If you're doing a half hour set, right? Um, if you want to be a headlining band and do tours, then you should be playing for at least 45 minutes, more like an hour, right? So, but I mean, it was good. It's very loud and lush, and you get stuck in it, and you want to. When See, shoegaze is different than dream pop in that sense, right? When you get stuck in shoegaze, it's more like um, your head's being ripped apart in every direction, right? Because it's just layers of effects and noise. And the drums are going, and it's not that you're getting lost in some floating device or something somewhere. It's not like this cloudy, sort of cliche. It's more like you're being ripped apart, and every part of your body is flying off in every different direction because the whole thing wants to pull you every different way, kind of thing, right? That's what that is, and they do it well. Um, there's a lot of bands that make that kind of sound. Not all of them are as good at it as them, and specifically what they're good at is melodic structuring. You don't hear those kinds of melodic lines often. Often it's all just atmosphere, right? So the fact that there's a stronger musical basis to what they're doing than there normally is in the genre does make them a little bit more interesting. They have a new record out. I would advise or recommend seeing them if you get the chance. Although it seems like a short show that'll be over early because they're all old like me. And that's what I was hoping for. Like I say, you know, it was a bunch of older people there. They all have bedtimes, and that's what the intent was. Unfortunately, I got stuck. I initially suggested that it must be somebody with drugs. That's the most reasonable thing. The bus driver said he got stuck in traffic. I assumed it was. It just sort of clicked. It was, due to police state bullshit because of the fucking terrorist. Listen, okay? I don't want my life to be inconvenienced by some attack in Belgium. I don't care what happens in Belgium. And I don't really want to make that clear, okay? I don't care if Belgium gets bombed by Germany again. I don't care if they get attacked. I have no solidarity with Belgium. I don't care, okay? I'm sorry. It makes no difference to me whatsoever, okay? I want to have, Canada pull their troops out of the region as much as they can, disengage, and forget about it. Because I don't want to be inconvenienced at the border because of some stupid bullshit in Europe, okay? And I really want my politicians to get that mindset through their head. Okay? I'm not afraid of somebody from some other part of the world. I don't want you to protect me. Okay? I don't want to deal with it. I don't want it to exist. I want it to go away. Okay? That's the mindset that most people have. Okay? I don't want to protect her. I don't want to be protected. I don't want more security. I don't want more inconvenience and annoyances. I want it to go away. And if going away means, 5 million people die in Europe, I don't care. I just want it to go away. And let's get that written down, and let's send that. Okay? I'll go on TV in Belgium and say, fuck you, I don't give a fuck about you. Just go away. Okay? Have these annoyances go away. The other side of that is that there's some Christian holiday this weekend, and I might have had something to do with increased traffic from that too. Or the hockey game. Okay, so it might have just been traffic, and it might be too. I may have been too quick to blame it on an overreaction. Um, uh, I mean, if you really think a border guard is going to stop, the premise is stupid. But I mean, it happens, right? They react to an attack in Europe by inconveniencing people in Detroit. That's that's the nature of our of our patriarchal system, right? If it would just go away, that would be nice. Go away. I don't want to deal with you. I don't want to know you exist. I don't even want to think about you. Just go away. But like I say, it might have been this, some stupid Christian holiday too. I don't know. Either way, it was a good part of the night. I just it would be nice, if the buses ran on time.